Alright, so welcome back to the channel where I talk about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and I wanted to talk about something that I noticed that could be potentially helpful in your trading and that I use personally in my trading. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about the Bitcoin price currently on these higher term time frames. So the weekly time frame is still looking quite bullish. And actually, if we flip to the monthly, which is about to close here in a few days, the monthly is actually looking a bit bullish too, okay? And if we look at the Bitcoin CME chart, this is also looking quite bullish with our indicator down here, the money flow remaining thick, the VWAP curving up towards the zero line from underneath of it, RSI remaining strong. Momentum wave curving upward. Hopefully this thing keeps going. That would be good for everyone. But let's get back down to these lower term time frames, like the 6-hour time frame. All right, so this is the Bitcoin CME chart, okay, traded on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. And what I've noticed is when this closes on Friday evening to when it opens again on Sunday evening, we have somewhat of a price discrepancy between the futures charts and the CME chart. And usually, if these prices are, close together, the gap or whatever will fill quite quickly. And what's been happening is that if the price is underneath the closing, it will pump up through that gap and sometimes continue to pump to the upside. All right. But what I'm trying to get at here is that you need to pay attention to what the futures chart, the CME futures chart, is printing in relation to what the futures chart is printing here. Okay, so on the CME chart, we left off with this bearish candle here, but the futures chart over the weekend has been pretty much consolidating, and just today, Sunday, we've gotten this pump here, and the price is a few $100s above where the CME chart closed at. And there's usually pretty much always going to be like a few $100s discrepancy in the futures chart in relation to the CME chart. But if you can use this information to play off of and kind of use your discernment as to where to place your trades, especially if you're trading over the weekend, well, that can help you out a little bit. And during the week, when the markets are opened, you can use the CME chart to kind of gauge what's going on, because if this chart is pumping before the futures chart is pumping, or vice versa, you can kind of gauge where you should be placing your trades or what side of the trade you should be on, long or short. So I don't know if this is going to help anybody, but it's just something else to pay attention to. I use pretty much everything I can to give me a confirmation bias on whatever trades I'm trying to take. And I'll talk about Bitcoin dominance later in another video or something, but I figured I would just quickly bring this to your attention here. And closing this out, over the weekend, price dumped below this very key level here. We have a convergence of trend lines here where we have this resistance and this possible breakout of this channel here. We're sitting like right in this area, and a lot of times Bitcoin likes to run till like the end of these patterns before it actually breaks out. So we're getting to a point where something is going to happen. And if we do look at these higher term time frames, which usually the higher term time frames are what is going to hold more weight than a lower term time frame, because anything can change quickly on a lower term time frame, but these higher term time frames are usually what holds more weight. So just looking at like the daily and the weekly, things remain bullish. On the 6 hour time frame, things are looking bullish. We have an anchor wave here, a trigger wave here. So we're going to have to see what happens on the market open and early this week. But things are looking a little bullish right now. Things could change quickly, especially on the lower term time frames. But as long as we're holding above that $67,000 range, $67,200, especially if, you know, the new week opens up and we get a lot of bullish momentum coming into the market, we could see runs up to, you know, that $70,000 level and start a run towards that coveted 100K Bitcoin.